I'm very good. I'm very good. Apologies for being in the car. I
No,
mean,
it's
it's been
okay.
a long day.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
How are you doing today?
I'm very good.
I can see somebody say, I'm here for the money. No, don't be here for the money. Be here for the knowledge. Be here for the knowledge. Okay, so I did a bit of introduction about you and what you've achieved in the legal space, in business, in invention, pretty much. I mean, I've not met any inventor in my life. I think you'll be the first person who is an inventor. The likes of Thomas Edison, the likes of Benjamin Franklin. So this is James Akewande from Nigeria. I think it's something we need to celebrate more.
Thank
I
you.
think so, sir.
Thank you.
So straight to the point. Just tell us a bit about your journey, how you got to where you are today. I mean, people could pick some inspiration from that.
Okay. Oh, that's. I wasn't expecting that, but I'll just make it as brief as possible. I was born into a family of civil servants. My dad was a public administrator. My mom too, the same. I come from a family, Ondo town, Ondo state, where they from Nigeria, where education is taken as a big deal, and life was pretty good, a bit of challenges and stuff, but it's been very good. Starting off in life was very, very good, and then growing up wasn't bad at all. I was extremely privileged, very happy child. And then growing up, I finished secondary school, went to Polytechnic first, then to the university. And then something dramatic happened in my part 3 in the University of Nigeria. I was at a friend's house. We were playing Nintendo game. And during the course of playing the game, the father crept in. And after he crept in, it was like, why are you guys playing games? You should be studying. And I'm like, Arsenal's on strike. So to cut a long story short, the punishment for my friend for playing a Nintendo game was to be sent abroad to study. And then the father just turned to me and said, would you like to go as well? And I said yes. And that's how the story of my life changed. So I was I'm blessed by God, and I'm very, very privileged to have been a beneficiary of that. Straight later, Chief Makinyele, former Minister of Information. So I arrived in the UK. Things changed. When I got here, first year in the university was very good. My second year, there was no funding again. I had to drop out. I faced a lot of hurdles, and then eventually got married. Eventually, papers got sorted out. Then I started university again, and I was in university studying part-time, all sort of courses. I did one BSc, one master's degree, but I wasn't able to get into employment. And then one day, I believe I was at the Prudential being a security guard. And being a security guard, to God's glory, I solved a problem for the company indirectly through a customer. I mean, like through a guest that came, not knowing fully well that guest wanted to transact business worth nearly £1 billion. And he got into the meeting and told them that whatever you guys needed, that security guard downstairs gave it to me. So that was how I moved, from being a security guard into getting a job as what's it again? Facilities officer. And I didn't even take the job. I joined a law firm. I trained in the law firm. From there, I entered into law, and then to where I am today. So that's just in a nutshell how the journey of my career journey has been in terms of career. And then maybe we'll talk about the invention later on. So that's just in a nutshell what it is, what it entailed.
To be very honest, I mean, you just made me believe that miracle still happens, right? Like, you can see a lot of people saying, wow, inspiring, network. I mean, if you had not tell us the story, maybe if I'd heard somewhere, I'll think, how is that possible?
No, this thing's
how can someone just see you and say, oh yeah, go to the UK, go and do it? I mean, people are not that nice, right? So this is really inspiring for me. Okay, so guys, you just need to stay tuned, because we will be supporting 5 people here, and we'll be asking questions from our conversation today, and each of those people will get 5,000 naira each. So it's a token, but it's worth it just for your time. So please pay attention and stay with us all through.
Thank
So
you.
my first question to you is this, sir. COVID-19 came and everybody all of a sudden was awake.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the reality is here. People literally who don't leverage technology went out of business.
Yeah.
People who do made more money. So for me, I really think that COVID-19 it's a blessing in our generation to have experienced this so that we can revisit our business model if it's not working. And if it's working, what can we do better? So my first question is going to be, how are you going to describe the future of work and the skill economy, which is already upon us, right? So how are you going to describe it?
I would say to you that, to be honest, it's just, I'm sorry to say this, I mean, but I'm not sorry to say it, but the honest fact about this is just God. For example, now, you are skilled, I mean, in technology, maybe you are an associate worker working with us now, for example. Maybe all you guys do is transport people from sake of argument, from Newcastle to London, and you have all the technological know-how and everything, and eventually no football. I mean, you can't go and watch any football matches for now. And I work my office in a complex where there are, I don't know, 51 businesses, and probably I think close to 20 now have packed up. And I mean, people were on the streets. I met someone 2 weeks ago who was practically begging. He showed me his certificate. He showed me everything that I'm qualified and everything. And I've been impacted by COVID-19. I have nowhere to stay. You know, can you help me out with something to eat? You understand? So it's just go. At the same time, too, as individuals, we need to be skilled. I believe that we need to ask questions. That's how I see things. You know, we need to ask questions, and unfortunately for us, I believe that our cultural background has not helped us as Nigerians. Now I'm talking to Nigerians. For example, I'll break it down to two. Traditionally, and I would say, in terms of religion, I mean, in terms of our religious backgrounds as well. If you look at our tradition very, very well, let's break it down. An average Nigerian who is not a Christian, before Christianity came, you know, you want to do well in business, and then the first thing you go and do is what they call awure, you know, or aworu for your business to make sure that people come and patronize your business. And what you're doing is actually you are invoking demons to come and help you run your business. And because the devil has no free gift, after a while, this thing prey on generations to come. Your children, your children's children, you know, may suffer from the consequences of these charms. You know, every one of them they've got what do you call it? They've got repercussions. You understand that people serve. You know, like for example, now somebody you are on your own. For example, you discover that you are applying for promotion, you can't get it. Well, you're just in one place. No bad news, no good news. You go to work, you come back. You know, it's a very likely tendency that there's something that there's a Yoruba voodoo called Madarikon, which means that no good comes to you, no evil comes to you. It may be running in the family. Do you understand me? Then secondly, let's leave that. Let's go to Christianity. Unfortunately for us as well, based on a few things I've seen from my cultural background, I mean, religion-wise now, in churches, is you're hearing testimonies of, oh, I sowed a seed of 5,000 naira or 1 million naira, whatever, and I got a contract for 10 billion. Nobody teaches you about hard work. Nobody teaches you about entrepreneurship. Thank God for Pastor Samadhi. Please, he stands out. I won't lie to you. I don't know too many about other pastors, but he teaches skills. He teaches what you guys need to, what people need to do in terms of learning. For example, now over in the UK here, the culture is different. You understand? You want to start a business, you go to business school. You know, and we Nigerians, for example, you know, when we think about the skill alone first, you know you can sew very well. You go and start sewing, you open a seamstress a shop, or you start as fashion designer, whatever it is. You have not learned anything about how to make, how to do adverts, how to manage money, how to, you know, I believe that for anything you do, you need to be skilled in it. Number two, in anything you do as well, I believe that you need to have mentors. You know, your mentor is somebody who has actually gone through what you're trying to aspire to be. They can easily tell you the pitfalls. Oh, I made this mistake 2, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You understand? But look, no, I believe we need to ask questions. Ask questions about everywhere we are. The Nigerian population at the moment is about 200 million, right?
Yeah.
Let's assume that universities in Nigeria, for sake of argument, maybe they're about, I don't know, 1,000. And maybe on the average, maybe 3 million Nigerians are in universities every year. Now, you are in university in Nigeria, you are studying banking and finance. How many banks do you have in Nigeria? You know that in the next 4 years, you're going to be jobless. So we are not asking questions. Even here in the UK right now, the job market is so saturated that you need to learn, you need to take cognizance of society and then look for areas where your skills are going to be needed, and then do a project to make sure that you are employed in that field. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, now in Nigeria now, you want to work for NTA. You know, you went to uni and you studied mass comm, for example. You know, for example, that to get a job in NTA, you need to be sought after because it's blocked. The guys who are in their 70s, they won't even retire, they'll be there. So what do you need to do? So you can look into social media, you know, industry and look, okay, how can I benefit these people? Do they have any programs for 20s, 25s, or whatever it is? And then you can even look for sponsorship. So by the time you're writing your letter of application, you're writing to NTA and say, okay, fine, I've seen this gap in the market. I believe so and so and so is what I can bring into you. I believe that by advertising, by calling so and so and so and so, whatever, we can make this work. So it's asking questions, using statistics, and then making yourself skilled to the extent that you can get a job. For example, I entered into a law firm in 2002, 2003. When I got there, the guys who were on top of me were very, very skilled in appeals. I looked at it, I had to be different. I had to do something different, and I wanted to be sought after. I wanted to be desired. I won't lie to you. At that period of time as well, there was this, you know, we didn't have this prayer and fasting, whatever, program. I think we fasted for 70 days or so at that time as well.
At the beginning of the year.
Yeah. My prayer point as at that time too was, God, let me be sought after. But there had to be a plan. So I picked a very, very difficult area of immigration law that lawyers don't like to tread on because it involved a lot of calculations. And thank God my background was engineering. So I entered the highly skilled migrant program. And with the highly skilled migrant program, if, for example, now you need to submit payslip and bank statement, and by the time you do your calculations using an Excel programming language, if you miss the answer by 1 point, let's say, for example, your payslips aggregate to about maybe 34,341 naira, 32 kobo, and you get 33 kobo, you are failed. They would make sure your client is refused. So lawyers didn't like, I mean, lawyers don't like calculations. In Nigeria, during my own time, if you're trying to qualify as a lawyer and you score A's in everything and you have F9 in mathematics, you still get in uni. I don't know for now. So most lawyers don't like mathematics. So I prayed on that and I specialized in that. And I won't lie to you, I'm sure I made close to 3,000 applications in that field alone, and on that program alone. So, you know, there are probably 12 caseworkers in the office. They say, I don't want to do. Send it to James. So I mastered that area. So the same way as well, that's what we need to do. We need to sit down, research. Do you believe that we have teachers in Nigeria now who have not even seen the four walls of the airport, of the international airport, but they are earning in pounds and dollars because of Zoom? We have students here, pupils and students here who are struggling. Now, to get a teacher here in the UK, to teach you, I mean, extra curriculum, whatever it is. I mean, let's say for home lessons, for example, they will charge you an average about £20 an hour. Now, I have people in Nigeria who are taking £10 equivalent. £10 equivalent is how much? It's about 50,000 naira.
Yeah.
Or 5,000, sorry, is it? No, 5,000. 5,000 naira. Now, 5,000 naira, and an average student is doing about maybe 10 hours, or yeah, an average of 10 hours a week. So times 10, that is 50,000 naira. So you can put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students on a Zoom class, teaching them mathematics, teach them English language. And you know, you've graduated 4 or 5 years ago, there are no jobs. There are, you know, right now with your mobile phone, going on YouTube, gather a few kids, get the dollars, teach them, I mean, make it very, very, I saw a clip that you know, it's transformed how I think. There's this guy from Ghana, I don't know whether you've seen it as well. He's a teacher in mathematics, and he was teaching in proper fractions. You know what he did? He picked on a small student in class, picked that guy, put him on his neck, and say, because I'm bigger than him, he's smaller, that is proper fraction. He said for proper fraction, he was trying to climb that guy, and the guy was screaming. See the way he's screaming. That means I'm bigger than him. So that way you can't forget. So there are ways you can simplify stuff. And I don't think everybody will be good in teaching, but there is something you can do better than anybody else. Maybe, or maybe you're even average, but you can skill yourself better. You know, there's something called packaging. You can package yourself better. You can present yourself better. You know, I believe these are the ways where we need to sit down and think. For example, now, look at our girls in Nigeria. Most of them would either go into fashion, I mean, let's say into this makeup artistry, whereby they makeup for you, and there are thousands, if not millions, of girls doing that. Or they go into fashion and say, okay, let me start sewing clothes. But look at it that you are going to be in a very, very competitive market. Please tell me what you can do differently. How can you do it differently? Number one, you know, you may be able to do it the same way as other people, but you may say, okay, I'm taking this further. I'm going to start delivering to people's homes. I'll go to your house, take your measurements, and I'll bring, you know, I'll maybe put it into a 3D format, do you something nice, and then show you how it's going to look like before you even put it on. You know, there are things you can add into your skill. Right now, it's logistics. Everybody is doing logistics. Everybody, you look for money, you buy a motorbike, and the government or the state government knew about it. They say, okay, fine, let's start overtaxing these people. There could be ways you can do this better. I'll give you another one. For example, most dry cleaners in Nigeria, you know, by the time you've taken your clothes to them, especially your whites to them 3 or 4 times, it will change colors. You can say, okay, fine. I would start a business. Instead of using normal water or whatever to dry to wash these clothes, I'll take it one step further. I'll make sure that what I'm going to use, I'll chlorinate it first. You know, and I make sure it's improve the quality of the water, and then the result speaks for itself. By the time you knock doors, this is who I am, this is where I live. I'll take your clothes from you, I'll deliver back to you, press them, iron them, smile to them, be kind to them, be nice to them, say good things to them, help them out on other things. Do you understand me? You know, that you can easily take over. And I believe that hunger can, you know, you can look into the UK, for example, now and say that, oh, the economy is quite stable. Thank God for that. COVID came. A lot of businesses got paid. You know, people got paid. You're in government, you got furloughed. You get paid back what you, I mean, mortgages, they put a payment break on it. Fantastic. But I still believe that somebody who is in Nigeria is much more better off. Do you know why? Because hunger drives innovation. The way why where we are in Nigeria? Why? God has given us a very good weather, given us very good landscape, very good agricultural. How do I put it? Infrastructure. And over here, what do we have? What does Britain produce? Nothing. So look at it. We don't produce anything. Farming here, it's awkward. Most of the things we eat here, they're genetically modified. So they look at, okay, what do? We are here, we're stuck here, the weather is not good, it rains practically 3/4 of the year. Let's go and conquer other people, other nations, and take their wealth and just improve this place. So let's, they talk about heating, like there's a very rough proverb that says, that means that if you're much more, if you come from a background that is much more advantageous, you get lazy.
You tend to be lethargic.
You understand? And again, looking at, as I was saying before, looking at our cultural background, we have not done justice to ourselves, especially our father's generation. They've passed a very, very bad and bad culture to us down, because they've stolen money and they've made it look to us that that's the only way to live. And the problem of Nigeria might continue for another 60 to 70 to 80 years until we wake up.
Mr. James, I mean, I don't mean to stop you, but then I want to quickly ask a question.
Please.
So the question I wanted to ask before the network went off is, we understand what recession is. Recession is when there is little spending power.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
In terms of skills, do you think Nigeria is undergoing a recession, or we are about to hit a recession? Are people migrating from, or are capable ants migrating away from this country to other countries? You being in immigration law, what are the data saying? What is the statistics like? Are we losing capacity in Nigeria?
Wait, would I say we are losing capacity? I won't say we are losing capacity at all. I believe that we are losing the best minds in Nigeria.
Wow.
The best, like the UK, they have the highly skilled migrant program. They have all sorts of programs for innovators, inventors, highly skilled migrants to be able to relocate into the UK. We have same for Canada, same for America. So what they are doing is basically brain drain. Would I blame them? No. Everybody wants their country to do well. The skilled ones in Nigeria, what happens to them? The highly skilled, what happens to them? They are not well paid. There was a lady that was treating my mom as a medical doctor in Nigeria. This girl is a medical doctor, about 26, 27 years of age. I knew she couldn't stay long in that job. She was just too good. I asked her for her salary. She was being paid about 230,000 naira a month. Do you know how much doctors earn here? I have a GP friend who earns about 15,000 pounds a month and still complaining that he's not well paid. So how much, compare that to naira? So somebody will try and be offering you something, even a little bit more than that, where you know that there's going to be stable electricity and stuff, and they won't go. Of course they will go. Look, you're talking about 100 billion being eaten up a couple of weeks ago for COVID. We have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of doctors in Nigeria. So if 100,000 doctors live in Nigeria today, there are over 100,000 doctors willing to replace them. So I'm not sad with that. Let people migrate. Let people go anywhere that's good for them. But the issue is the structure we have in Nigeria is not working. The first thing I believe we need to tackle in Nigeria is law and order. If you know you're going to go to jail, someone was saying, I read something on Instagram recently that says that, okay, the way they tackled corruption in Singapore is jail the people on the top for crime, leave the people at the bottom scot-free. If the people at the top are dealt with, trust me, give Nigeria 2 years, you'll be fine. But it's the guys at the top that, they are the ones causing us trouble. And then again, let's assume this is going to continue for another 10, 15 years. What are we supposed to do? Election is coming in maybe 2 or 3 years' time. When they come with their bags, let's reject it. You understand? Let's support anybody that has whatever it is, and then let's suggest to them that, okay, fine, we will only put you in position if you are able to put so and so and so structure in place to make sure that the money comes to the individuals that need it. It won't be a magic. It will take some time, but eventually it will be done. But as long as they keep coming and they keep giving us money and we keep taking it, things are never going to improve. The children of Israel suffered for 400 years before they got deliverance. The same way Nigeria is probably how many years, maybe less than 70 years old. So maybe the suffering could continue for another 100 years. Who knows? Until one day we wake up. Because we are passing this culture down and down from my father's generation down to our generation. We're passing down to the last generation. So I've not seen any change in people's mindset whatsoever. Now, the day that an average Nigerian wants to go and pay his taxes and knows very well that when he pays that money, it's going to be used to build the roads, and it's not someone that's going to eat up the money, then maybe things start changing. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's the truth about the matter. It's going to be difficult when there is no accountability that could be verified. And we have a few people in government right now that they have these skills. They're already showing it. They're showing accountability, and they are being persecuted. We can support them. We can rally around. We can do crowdfunding for them and put them in power when we are really, really tired to make things change. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. By the time we start protesting, now we know we want to protest for our lives, that let us die. Another generation will continue protesting. Things will change eventually. You understand? But we're not ready. We love to party. We love our life. We love everything, the way things are. I don't blame anybody for it, but what we are getting, we deserve it. You understand? You know, let it start from the church. Let the church start teaching people how to go and work. You know, the Bible says you don't work, you don't eat. Let's eradicate all this nonsense about anybody coming to just give testimony because they've made billions that they can't account for. Do you understand me? By the time, let the church start paying taxes. Do you understand me? Let's do stuff. Do you know that a particular denomination can feed the whole of Nigeria? If a particular GEO comes out, please, I'm not judging anybody, please, I'm just saying, if somebody in power comes out and say, please, for every member of this church, go and start farming. Do you know how much we are going to start making? We have the land. It's plenty out there. You know, let's start exporting whatever. Right now, a tuber of yam here in the UK costs about £7. A tuber of yam, £7 is how much? Times 500. That's about 35,000. I mean, 3,500 naira.
3,500.
Exactly. So, imagine if you have a farm, for example, now, and you are exporting that to the UK, how much you're making. Now, let me tomatoes from Asaba to the UK. On a weekly basis, he makes a turnover of something around 1.4 million naira. I mean, 1.4 million pounds every week. You know why? He wrote to the UK and said,
from tomatoes,
give us your specification. And they said, this is how we want it, you know. Let's break this down. This is exactly what we want the composition of whatever you are sending to us to be. So he hired 3 Israeli farmers from Israel because they're the best in the world. And then he moved them to Nigeria, built a plant, built the farm, put guards there, shoot on sight if anybody comes to steal anything. And they are doing fantastically well. Do you understand me? So we have, all we just need to do is use our brains in terms of research and say, okay, fine, there is money out there somewhere. Let's work there. We have the resources there. Let's go there and get it. At the same time, too, I know that the system can frustrate you because my former friend, I won't say it's my former friend, we used to work together. He used to be a former colleague. He started, I won't mention the name of the farms, some farms in Ogun State. So he was growing yam, cassava, lettuce, whatever, and he was selling online to big guys in Lekki. So, cut long story short, he traveled to the UK for holidays during Easter of 2014 or 15. I'm not sure. And by the time he returned back to Nigeria after 10 days, they had stolen everything. All the fishes in the fish pond were gone. All the lettuce were harvested. So everything was harvested and destroyed in one day. I mean, in over a period of 10 days before he came back. So there was nobody to arrest or whatever it is, and you know, so it can frustrate you. But if you have to make it work, yeah, we have to make it work. So we have the tools, we have the the knowledge. All we just need to do is sit down and think. And let's not just think that manna is going to fall from heaven. Let's not just go and think that okay, everything it's just going to happen by me just going and drop money somewhere or give offering somewhere or give a voodoo man some money out there to make voodoo for me to make sure I just make money anyhow. Let's start, recognizing people that will have local businesses that will grow it and make sure, you know, eventually succeed. So
Okay. So
I won't
this
blame
is going to
anyone.
be the last.
Okay.
This is going to be the last question
Okay.
because of the time we've overstayed our time, right?
Yeah.
From your answers, I can figure out that you agree with me that learning and development should be the core of whatever is it anyone wants to do right now, because
Okay.
the new normal is such that people are not looking for what you finished with in school anymore. They want to see what you can do. What's your skill? What skill do
Yep.
you have?
Yep.
That's what you have to deal with now. And that
Okay.
also beckons on the fact that businesses now need to start hiring people based on their capability, their skills,
Yep.
right? Not
Yep.
just what, I mean, you are someone who did engineering, but then you went to the UK to study law. Now
Yep.
you are a lawyer. You practice law in immigration law, right? So, what advice do you have for people in terms of building a skill-focused strategy going forward
Good.
for businesses, for
Thank you very
individuals,
much. There's a
for
gentleman,
corporation?
well known to all of us. He has about 1.6 million, 1.7 million followers on Instagram, for example. His name is Wulia, really. You know, he started with just his mobile phone. Do you get me? Most of us, we have mobile phone. Like, for example, now, I mean, I looked into my, you know, it gives you data, and I realized I was spending about 6 hours a day on Instagram. So I fought myself, and I cut it down to 1 hour. You know, I won't spend more than 1 hour a day, maximum 1.5 hours a day on Instagram, because I can use that time for something else. So we have the YouTube. There's a guy, an African guy, who taught himself how to use javelin using the YouTube, and he won a gold medal. You can learn, you can do any kind of research with the mobile phone. The time we are spending to check on, which is good, please, we need to relax and stuff, but at the same time, these are our lives, you know, these are our lives that we need to grab to take hold of. So use the YouTube to learn anything from start to finish. I know a girl learned photography, you know, the art of photography on YouTube. You know, it's not just snapping somebody. She did a lot of research on YouTube. So then number two, we need to be proactive. Please, this is what I can do. Go and find somebody who has done better in that field. Approach them. If they're not willing to help you, fine. Because, you know, some of us are very, very, you know, for example, now I've had a company in Nigeria for a while. From 2006, I'm running the company in Nigeria. And what I discovered from time till now is the fact that Nigerian guys, we are over ambitious. Somebody wants to work for you for 2 months, and he wants to take over the company or set up a rival one in 3 months' time. It doesn't work like that. We need to understand mentorship. You know, like the Yoruba brother says that, you know, like if you can't steal experience. It will come and you have to take your time. So don't let us be in a hurry. Learn a trade and master it, and be subject to somebody who will mentor you. And they do it well in the entertainment industry. That's why it's actually growing. You know, I manage Kenny Black. I don't know whether you know that. Kenny Black took about 10 years, about 9 years, as being an apprentice to the likes of Alibaba and AY and Co. to learn the trade. Do you understand me? So you don't just say because I can crack a joke today, you go and start your own YouTube channel, whatever it is, and start, you know, forcing things. You won't get followership. There are things you have to learn on the go. There are people you need to serve. You understand? But we're not willing to take our time for apprenticeship. You understand? So I discovered that most of we Nigerian guys, 99% of us are overly ambitious, and we are. Don't let me judge anyway, but we will steal your stuff. So I tend to have more confidence in ladies from experience. Like I started from 2006 to 2010 in a particular office, and I make sure that I moved 4 of them to the UK as a reward for what they did, and the guys I fired them. And one of the guys that was actually very, very good as well, I moved him to the UK as at that time because of the opportunity I had. Do you get me? Because they served and they deserved it. So, but you can't come today and want to steal from me tomorrow, and then you don't want me to help you next day. It wouldn't work. You can't hire somebody who's tried to poison you to start cooking for you. You can forgive them, but you have to be smart enough not to hire them next time. So I've discovered that Nigerian guys are overly ambitious. Somebody comes to you on Instagram now, and you know he likes a couple of your pictures, and next thing is asking you, "Do you do this for me?" Do you understand me? It doesn't work like that. We have to learn stuff. You know, you have to. You know, I have people I mentor, I can't mentor everybody, definitely. But there are people I mentor over a period of time. You know that these people are trusted. You know, I have a lady, you know, this lady sends me prayers every morning. And I watched her for 1 good year. She never stopped. No, the day she stopped, that was actually the day I wanted to reach out to her. Then I left it. Then she came back again. Something happened to her. Something happened to her. Then 2 weeks later, after about a year and 2 months, then I reached out to her. And for about 3 years now, we've had a relationship. You understand me? I'm not saying that I desire whatever. It's just for you to know what people are there for. Maybe they actually genuinely need your mentorship or not, or they just want to use you and go. And in life, people are going to use you anyway. Do you understand me? But we need to just learn this and put it, make it our culture to make sure that whatever it is, let's be willing. I learned mine. 7 good years. I served. I was used and stuff. But the stuff I learned, even when the guy thought he was punishing me, it was, you know, there was time that, okay, James, they just started sending me to court. Sending me and go and dirty jobs. Meanwhile, it was true that, number one, I won the loyalty of so many clients. I found there was time I was going to court 3-4 times a week. I was learning. I knew all the judges. There were times, God is my witness, that I'll get to court. And judge just say, oh, James, like one day, don't worry, I've read your bundle and everything. You just face the Home Office responding officer and say, I'm granting you. You don't have to say anything. Several times. Of course, there's grace. But at the same time, there is hard work. And it's time to do your job, learn your skill, keep improving yourself on a daily basis. Do you get me? So we should not be overly ambitious. Number 2, knock doors, please. If you know you are good in an area, don't.
That's number 3. Number
3. Don't undervalue the power of advertisement. If you know you can crack jokes and you know you are good, I will say go and meet AY and beg him and let him mentor you. If you know you can help in a particular whatever it is, tell them this is what I can contribute to you. This is what how I can make you better. Do you understand that kind of thing? And because you are the originator, even if they hire somebody, they can't be as good as you because you are the one with the skills. You are the one with the knowledge. You are the one who have made the research. So and I'll close with this story. I used to work at the Prudential building as a security guard so many years ago. And one day the director called me, Chris Norton, and said, James, there's this guy in the office called Ade. Ade would wear his shirts awkwardly, tie awkwardly. He would microwave his eba and banga soup, and the smell would fill the whole place, you know, 99% white, about 4,000 members of staff. But Ade was the only person that knew Java. So the director came to me and said, please, so many people, they've complained about Ade. Please, nothing must happen to Ade. Make sure that we make him happy here because the skill that this guy has, we will need it for the next 3 or 4 years. He was paid higher than most people in that place. He had tribal marks. You understand me? This guy had tribal marks. He couldn't speak the British accent. He spoke his Nigerian accent. But he has something that people didn't have. And that made me learn. Look at the footballers today. Look at the English team. Look at the Premiership team. If you are skillful, they will get you. If you are in the dungeon, they will fit you out. I see so many footballers come to me every day. Oh, James, get me to this club. Bro, if they are good, they'll be begging you. There are scouts everywhere. Start from your backyard. Do you understand me? They would find you. That's the truth. Do you understand me? So that's how I would like to leave it today. Maybe at some other time, we'll have more time to dig deeper and stuff. And yeah, I'd like to just close on that. Because
we've actually come to the end of our conversation. Trust me, I've learned a lot myself. It's just unfortunate that I can't be writing at the same time. But so guys, let me know what you think. Mr. James has said a lot of stuff.